Today, from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, it's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins taking on Zach Wilson and the New York Jets.
Here's Jason Sanders now to get this one started, and we are underway from Hard Rock Stadium. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They're led out by a former #2 overall pick in the draft from BYU, it's Zach Wilson.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 17 carries, 70 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
From the 31, Wilson got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. First down carry for Barkley. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down. And, Charles, this defense, I have to imagine, kind of licking its chops when you get a chance to face a team that's lost 3 straight.
And my surprise was listening to their head coach in his weekly presser, because normally you and I see guys that get up there and say, everybody's a threat any given Sunday, that sort of thing. But he was asked if this might be a trap game, and he essentially said he didn't see anything to worry about. Now, normally you say that to your team, but you don't tell us. You definitely don't say it to the media.
The Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down. Now Wilson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. So here are the Dolphins now with excellent field position to start things out. They will be led out by the 6-foot lefty from Alabama. It's Tua Tagovailoa.
And if you go by the numbers, he's had a Pro Bowl-type season. And maybe that's even selling him a little bit short. He's the NFL leader in touchdown passes to this point in the year. And with the end of the season not too far away, he's got his guys playing at a very high level.
After the turnover, it's Tua. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the first down.
Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Now the former Washington Husky, here's Myles Gaskin, and he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
Yeah, what do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snoot full, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game.
In need of only about the length of the football here on second down. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Myles Gaskin, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. So we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC as the Jets come back out on offense. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
From the 29, Wilson. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Wilson. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. What a start defensively. Your offense goes out, gets the touchdown, and then you get the interception. Just perfect.
How about the discipline that they showed on defense? Because after the offense scored to go up 7-zip, you would think they might be a little extra aggressive trying to get back at them. Instead, they read their keys well. When they took the shot downfield, they were more than prepared for that one.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And this is taken in at the 5. Touchdown! A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So that's the rookie's first trip to the end zone, and I think it's safe to say one he'll always remember.
Oh, without a doubt, that one is going to be imprinted forever. And nowadays, we're seeing rookies make a greater impact at that position at receiver than ever before. I think mainly because of the sheer volume of footballs that they catch in college.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and it's now 14-0. After the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. And New York set to take the field. To this point, the results have not been good. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers.
And that's obviously something that can't continue, but to go a little bit deeper on that one, I would think about some play calls now, not even necessarily to my best player, but to someone I can trust with the ball. Try and get things settled down a little bit.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Wilson. That's Gallup on the slant. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Derek Brown in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. They said there was a lot of discussion in their defensive team meeting room after last week's performance. They had 7 sacks. Something in the water. There's one in the first quarter.
A lot of discussion, a lot of excitement, because now everyone wants to get involved with this. Who's going to continue that process? Who's going to get to the quarterback this week? But they have to be careful. When you have that much pressure, they want to use it against you. Draws, screens, those types of plays.
See if they do that. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. Dolphins offense returning to the field. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
Back to the air on 2nd down, Tagovailoa. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. How about the first quarter he's putting together out wide? Pretty impressive.
I think that he likes the fact that we're playing this as a day game. You know, some guys, they respond better in the evenings. For some reason, it builds up. For this guy, day game, and he is off and running. You're exactly right. 100 might be conservative with the start that he's had here in the first quarter.
Yeah, by the numbers, he's on pace for 200+ right now. On 1st down, Tagovailoa. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Ashton Davis. And the Jets will take over here just shy of the 30. So the interception there. And, Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead,
and here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. He's picked off at his own 47.
Yeah, we dominate today.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Henry runs his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Dolphins head on to their lead. extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 21-0. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Zach Wilson and the Jet offense set to take over here. So with the 3 interceptions, how does he erase those from his mind and just focus on this drive?
I think he may need some help from the coaching staff. Maybe the offensive coordinator says, okay, let's do a few of the shorter throws, quick rhythm throws where the ball's out of his hand quickly into a receiver before the defense can react. Maybe not take so many shots downfield, just in case. Get your confidence back up, and then later on, you expand the targets again.
The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid, right?
I love it. I love it.
They begin with a run by Barkley. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Well, these two teams met down in Miami earlier this year with the Dolphins winning that one. So they're looking for the season sweep with a win here in Miami. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. From the gun, it's Wilson. He'll get this to Hamler over the middle. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. This defense for the Dolphins, they were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
And one of the key numbers that I look at after every game, total yards allowed. They held them under 200 yards of total offense. Just couldn't sustain much of anything against them. Great job showing them different looks and then attacking.
And he is going to have a Jets first down as he's able to get about 3 that time on 3rd and inches.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
They go back to the ground now with Barkley. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
2nd and 11 now. Here's Wilson. Catch made. It's Moreau. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Here's Wilson to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Moore. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, these guys certainly need something good to go their way because this first quarter has been something of a disaster for them trying to move the ball. But that completion there maybe can get them focused and moving in the right direction.
Again, he finds Moore. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. He was under duress, surveying, trying to find somebody to get the ball out of his hands. In the meantime, the defense, they took it out of his hands.
And when the ball snapped, I know exactly what the defense is thinking. Get a sack, put him on the ground. But when you can also knock the ball free while doing so, oh, there's the bonus for you as a defender.
First down, Miami, as they get set to start the drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
So a costly penalty yardage-wise as that'll move the football down to the spot of the foul.
And what the officials are looking for in these situations, whether you're playing the man or the ball. And if you're playing the man, you get a lot less leeway in terms of what's going to happen at the end of the play. But if you're looking for the football, it's less likely to draw the flag.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. Two of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Gaskin again. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Miles Gaskin with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Dolphins continue to pull away here in this first half. Just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible. But all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 28-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. This fielded right at the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wilson, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. And they have the football that will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Week after week, we're seeing plays like this from him, and I think he's in line. We've discussed it before for NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
And a big reason why, I think, is because of his ball skills. And that's something that, for guys of his position, they've talked about it for years. They've done the drills. But they've really increased it in recent seasons because of the offense have gotten so good. He knows how to take the ball away. That is huge for a defender.
Tua now on first down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
So not quite a first and goal. It's first and 10 from the 10. On the handoff, it's Gaskin. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
Some good, strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
With a heavy set out there, 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
That didn't just feel like good defense there. That felt like pride, didn't it? He's already gotten into the end zone twice, trying to get there for a 3rd time. No one likes to have the hat trick against them.
Gaskin is into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was capped off by a Myles Gaskin touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Here comes Felton to bring it out of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. Zach Wilson and the Jet offense set to take over here. He struggled. His team has struggled. You talked to me a lot about looking to your leaders. Maybe it's time for him to put his mark on this game.
Agreed. And how that has to happen is somehow he's got to flush out everything that's happened so far and almost start over and get back to that confident level and know that he can play the game, because so far this has been a real struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the interceptions, trying to turn it around. They'll run on first down. Barkley, and he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try waiting to the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. A give to Barkley out of the gun. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Jets on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. The Jets on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Now it's Wilson. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
On first down, Barkley. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wilson. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
And that is incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps him inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Myles Gaskin and the rest of the Dolphin offense ready to get back to work here. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. He's going to rifle one deep left side. A fight for it, and this is caught. It's caught indeed. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great play there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on. And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation, knowing when it exists to go to it. They did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, give that water break and get on out there and play.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Here comes Felton to bring it out of the end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Now the Jets offense gets ready to head back on the field. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want it to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Not much there, only a yard.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 48 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's a Florida native from up here, Pensacola. It's Michael Carter. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
2nd and 5 now. Wilson, he dumps it off to Barkley. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And my goodness, another interception. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. And the Dolphins are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. Meanwhile, Tua's throw here taken in by Gesicki. And he's brought down. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Tua now on 1st down. From left side, it's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. So in the 2nd quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
57's Mike. Mike 57. You can't block me. You can't block me.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Nash. Touchdown, Dolphins. A great effort there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control. Boy, I mean, at this point, what more do we say here? I got nothing.
And you know, so many people talk all the time about having announcer-less games, and they want that. This could be a candidate for it, because if we stay here and do this, we got a lot to fill in the 2nd half.
There's still another half. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Here comes Felton to bring it out of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. New York ready to go again offensively. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. 7 yards to pick up there. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Throwing again on second down. Wilson. And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And that will be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Taken in at the 22. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. The Dolphins taking over now late in this first half. And with great starting field position and a couple of timeouts at their disposal, they'll certainly have the green light here. Now Tua. He's going to let this one go deep. And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with him defensively. And it'll bring up 2nd down. This offense, Charles, we've talked about how well they played all season, sitting now at 13-0, and the finish line for a perfect regular season, that's in sight. Some in the media this week were pointing back to the 07 Patriots. Of course, remember, they finished the regular season unbeaten, but they were tested multiple times in that final month plus.
Yeah, it was something like 4 of their last 6 wins were one possession.
And this is taken in at the 5. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. His 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Sanders on for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Here comes Felton to bring it out of the end zone. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. So the 2 teams will head to the locker rooms here in Miami with the Dolphins on top. As we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll kick things off with an AFC's matchup in Foxborough. Buffalo visiting New England, and it's the Patriots with the lead in that one. It's Mac Jones with a touchdown pass there. From there, we'll head to Cincinnati to check on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And they've got the lead over the visiting Houston Texans. A couple of touchdown passes there for Joe Burrow. Lastly, let's motor up to the Motor City. See what's happening with the Lions at home at Ford Field. And you can see there, it's the visiting LA Rams who have the lead in that one. 2 touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. Taken in at the 3. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3. The first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
And he'll have a Dolphins first down as he's got this up to the 40-yard line. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. These two teams met up earlier in the year, back in week 4. And it was the Dolphins with a road victory, so they'll look for the sweep now here in Miami. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now a first carry for their fullback. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. He's at the 30. 10. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Mike Gesicki, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at it just to make sure. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Here's Gaskin. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. 61 yards for him on the ground now, and 3 touchdowns to go along with it.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Now a 2nd down and 6.
Hey, Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And he's going to get this inside the 30.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Let's go. 57 for Mike. Mark 57.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo.
This is Gaskin on the carry. And down inside the 15 he goes. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They'll hand it off now. Williams. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
If you're looking for glory, looking to get your name in the headlines, you do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
9th play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard.
Check safety, check safety. Check.
They'll run now with Gaskin. And he takes it into the end zone for a Dolphin touchdown. Myles Gaskin taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Dolphins take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. On 3rd down and short, and everything well executed. He not only gets the 1st down, Charles, he gets the touchdown as well.
And you see the defense commit to the run so often in these situations. There's always that little bit of hesitancy, isn't there, partner? Thinking that they may play action you. They took advantage of that hesitancy and found their way into the end zone with a running play.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead will swell by 1 more. A 10-play drive that time. And it was capped off by a Myles Gaskin touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Here's the Jets offense now getting set to start off this 3rd quarter. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. On second down, a run with Carter. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Carter with it. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson. And it's incomplete. Elijah Moore, the intended receiver. And it's third down. The passing windows are just not there. And that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's Jamie Gillandale as he's on to punt for New York. That's taken on the 25. They'll score that a 36-yard punt. Myles Gaskin and the rest of the Dolphin offense ready to get back to work here. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. One of the reasons that this team is on this win streak, big runs like that.
When you see runs like that broken off, you know this is a team that's confident running the football. A big reason why this streak has occurred, they've come together, had a plan, and stuck to it. And when you get big-time runs like that, it makes it easier to stay with it, doesn't it?
Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. A give to the fullback on the dive. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. It's the fullback with touchdown number 29. Too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the Dolphins get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Well, that was a quick hitter drive. They had the huge play to get him down near the goal line, and then they run it in. I don't know that the defense ever had a chance to catch their breath.
A lot of the time now, when we see people hit big plays, and each team defines a big play their own way, 10, 15-yard gains. In this case, it was a huge gain. They often want to hurry up and go right away. Keep the momentum going, hit them again, and I think we just saw that there. The second play resulted in pay dirt.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that will extend this big lead. One play, 2 plays, touchdown. That's all it took there. A very short and sweet drive that got him in the end zone. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over more adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And here we go again. Here we go again.
A give, Carter running right. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
Mike 56, Mike 56.
They go play action now. Wilson. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 47. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead will swell by 1 more. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Another drive coming up for New York's offense. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the 1st down sack. When you see a quarterback retreating away from the line of scrimmage toward the other goal line like that, usually doesn't end well.
You're exactly right about that. Normally, if they're moving from side to side, they've got a chance maybe to get back upfield. He was trying to shake defenders and extend the play, but it doesn't work out very well for them at all. You need those extra yards on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Now you're digging a hole for your offense.
Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5. Miami set to take over. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
To the fourth quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 157 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Now a handoff here to his running back. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On the give, this is their fullback. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. This is where, 4th quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. Extra bulk up front for 2nd and inches. 3 tight ends.
59, Mike, check, 59.
He'll try again. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Third and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. They'll try to run this one in. And Gaskin, I don't think he got there. No, they're going to mark him short. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what, right?
Yeah.
It's an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. And I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
Check 9, check 9. Check 37, check 37.
And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he's in for the score. And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
And you wonder now if he might be able to remove the helmet, put on the baseball cap, and watch the rest of this one from the sideline. His 5th touchdown pass of the game.
Say that again. Did you say 5th touchdown pass of the game?
Yes, sir.
Boy, that's a heck of a performance, isn't it? Because they've had no answer for him at all game long. Receivers have been open constantly, and he hasn't missed a single one of them.
Sanders now to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. That time a 9-play drive, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Here comes Felton to bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. New York's offense back out there and set to go. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory. But it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one. Now Wilson on 1st down. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Play action. It's Wilson. And his throw here's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
The Jets on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 4. Throw right side, taken in by Gallup. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Wilson here, pass caught by Carter. That catch good for only a couple.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Again, Wilson. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan and especially the execution.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you've got just the coach talking about it, his team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They'll try and run down some clock with Williams. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Second and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7.
We want it. Come to my work. Max 50, Max 50, Max 50. You got nothing.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Slam, slam. Shoot, shoot.
They'll try to run for it. Here's Williams. And he's got the 1st down before being taken down at the 46. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. And he's got this down to the 35.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer. Y'all playing the wrong football.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the 1st down carry.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Second and 6.
Watch the slants. Watch the slants.
On the handoff, it's Gaskin. And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. They've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Miami, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they've plummeted now to 3-11. And they'll try again next week at home against New England. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.